Gaming Aura. If you are a longtime viewer of the channel, you know that I've been doing a lot of Aura tier listing, okay? I've even done a gaming one before. But there's a lot of characters that did not make the mark that you guys very, very clearly let me know in the comment section down below, okay? And that is what this video is going to be. Every single character on this tier list is one that you guys have suggested, either from the community post or a comment on the last video. So all the more reason to comment, because oh my goodness, you guys came in hot, okay? I didn't even think about some of these, but I understand the vision, okay? And you guys just want to hear me rant about them. If you're new to the channel, I think you're gonna understand why, okay? I thought for no better way to end off the year for Aura tier listing, because I do got one other video planned to end off this year of 2024, and you'll see on Monday what it is. But I thought this was the best way to end it for this year in terms of a gaming Aura tier list, okay? A fan-suggested one. Okay, all the support that you give this channel honestly makes, like, a dream come true, okay? You guys are giving me the opportunity to do the dream job. This is your channel, I am just the host, and I know just because I said that, there's gonna be... You guys know, just open the comment section and you're gonna understand why what I said. You'll understand in a second. I'm not even gonna say the word. You already know what I'm gonna say. Okay, I don't want to have a long-winded intro because I actually really want to rant about some of these, okay? But if you want to support the channel, please consider like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to get 100,000 subscribers before the release of GTA 6 of next year, and we are on track for it because you guys have beaten every single... Like, if I say I want to make it to 50,000 subs by the end of the year, you guys get me to 70,000. And that is honestly a blessing to be able to do that. And I'm just going to keep on giving you videos that you guys want to see. So let's get into Gaming Aura Volume 2. Courier 6 from Fallout New Vegas. Okay, now let me just tell you something right now. My Fallout lore is a little bit rusty, okay? I'm still working through the lore. Fallout New Vegas probably has the most straightforward out of any of the games, if I'm just going to keep it real with you. It's simple, and it thrives in the simplicity of you're essentially a post-apocalyptic Amazon delivery driver that got shot in the head, and then you came back, and then you just have brain damage, and you're still delivering stuff, because that is just how Bethesda games work. Also, I need to rant about this. It feels like Bethesda games, like, are stuck in, like, 2006 of how to do quest design, where they're like, hey, oh, yes! We need somebody to deliver something. Yes, oh great, powerful, chosen one. Can you deliver some eggs? Yes, that's how we're gonna use your ability. That is how I feel like Bethesda games are written, and it honestly just annoys me. But in Fallout New Vegas, ironically, one of the only Fallout games in the modern era that isn't made by Bethesda, it makes a lot of sense. Brother, you are quite literally an Amazon delivery driver that just refuses to die. Now, I already did my fan theory for Skyrim, and because I think the Dragonborn has the voice of Saint Gillis and is just a 24/7 drunkard, and that's why everybody's surprised to find out that you're the Dragonborn. I think Courier 6 from Fallout New Vegas is actually just a schizophrenic. I think he is downright insane, and that's why people's like reaction to you is like, brother, what? What do you mean you killed all the Deathclaws in Deathclaw Alley? It's literally called Deathclaw Alley. How did you do that? And you're over here like, who shot me in the head? And everyone's like, bro, what? We ain't even involved in that. You hear like the VATS activate. Are you sure about that? Like, that's how I feel about Courier 6 from Fallout New Vegas. In terms of Aura, bro, he has to be one of the most terrifying people to ever see. Because you could be the leader of Caesar's Legion. You could be from the NCR. Or you could be from the Brotherhood of Steel. And you look at this guy and you're like, yo, you want to help us out? Like, hey, come on. Like, that's how I feel. I feel like everybody has this super nervous energy around Courier 6, and that is the epitome of Aura. But because everybody's a heavy hitter in this video, he would be an S tier in any other video. Actually, no, I'm going to move him down to A+ for one reason, and that is, I think it would benefit if they just absolutely went mask off in the final scene and he just goes absolutely insane. I think that would have hit pretty hard. He's kind of like, what's a game with a good schizophrenic lead? That needs to be a gameplay mechanic where your character's actually just straight up schizo, and that would explain a lot of how he acts. I'm going to put him in A+, but yeah, he would be an S tier in any other video, but everybody's a heavy hitter. Geralt of Rivia. Honestly, probably one of the best ways to display that is his competitor's Geralt. Now, Witcher lore, Okay, like I get some stuff mixed up with some lore and other lore, but the lore of the Witcher universe is so weird to me. First off, it's a book, but the book became a video game, and then the video game became a TV show, and now the TV show is becoming a video game. Like, you understand just how weird that is. And let me explain something to you. The lore of the Witcher, honestly, is so weird, yet so creative, I have to give it respect. Now, let me just tell you something right now, what you were comparing it to. You see, the lore of Lord of the Rings, if I had to boil it down to a few sentences, it essentially was all of the gods of Lord of the Rings kind of beatboxed everything into existence, and then there was this douchebag named Morgoth that came in and started playing smooth jazz. But the smooth jazz didn't jive with the beat, and that bad beat, because jazz is awful, I will stand on that. If anybody wants to hear my opinion on music, I think jazz is an abomination. I think literally anything is better than jazz. But it did give birth to evil. So yes, jazz. And then the evil corrupted Sauron, who was a part of the Maiar, and then he made the ring, this corrupted man, and then bada-boo, Frodo threw the ring into the volcano. Bada-ba. Roll credits. Okay, one of the greatest things ever written. If we're comparing it to, like, what's another good fantasy universe? My gosh, I'm blanking right now. But that's Lord of the Rings. What do you think the Witcher's lore is? Oh yeah, the multiverses collided, and then the realm of man fell into the realm of the elves, and then the men came in and absolutely decimated every last person in the realm of the elves. I was about to make a really risky joke right there, but I'm not gonna do that. Where they just completely decimated them and just, like, literally took over the world. And then the elves basically went extinct. Yes, in the Witcher universe, the elves are actually the indigenous people, and man took care of everything. And the monsters are from another universe that like all the realms kind of like overlapped. Think of the Mist. Remember the Mist from Stephen King, and like all these other monsters that would come out of something like Lord of the Rings kind of came into modern society? That's essentially what happened, but it was way worse. Oh yeah, and the Wild Hunt are elves from a different universe that came from this universe. Also, unicorns have special abilities. So Witcher lore is insane. But Geralt of Rivia, he's a Witcher, a man that was mutated to become a monster hunter, is is infertile. And gets with a cool wit. Bro was absolutely slaying. Brother, he was pulling like an absolute Chad. You get Yennefer and you got Triss. Personally, call me a heretic, if you will. I'm personally a bigger fan of Triss, okay? There's something about redheads that just do something to me. Okay, I don't know what it is. I don't know why. There's something about Triss that I'm like, Like, do you understand what I'm saying? My brothers in the comment section are going to get my back, or I'm going to get crucified for not being a yen submissive. Okay, that's all I gotta say. But Geralt of Rivia, okay, monster hunter, surrogate father to Ciri, who's overpowered as fuck. Puller of women in Yennefer and Triss and literally everybody else. I mean, I gotta put him in S. I gotta put him in S+, honestly, bro. He's that good. He's him. I might even put him in him by the end of the video. Yeah, S+. Joel Miller. You see, you guys, when I started saying people like Arthur Morgan, you said, okay, that means Joel Miller has to be in here. And Joel Miller wasn't. Joel Miller is probably one of my favorite written characters in the entirety of Naughty Dog's history and top 5 in the entirety of gaming. Because it is the best example that I can name of a bad man doing something justified. Like Arthur Morgan is a good redemption character. Joel Miller really was never redeemed if you think about it. I want you to understand this. Okay, and listen, if you guys want me to rant about the Last of Us games and how... This might be a Last of Us rant. We'll see how animated I get. So Joel Miller served in Operation Desert Storm or his with his brother, right? So it makes sense for him being as good as combat as he is. Has a kid with an unknown woman, but considering he was a Marine, it was probably a dancer. Let's just keep it real here. That's probably what it was, honestly. Marines know what's up. And then that kid dies, makes me cry every single time I boot up that game. C dies, okay? What happens after that? 20 years later, okay? Wasteland is everywhere, and this man becomes a grizzled apocalypse survivor. Basically a raider from Fallout, but way cooler. Okay? The zombies are nightmare fuel. I've already covered why I think the clickers are some of the most terrifying in fiction. He comes in, has his own surrogate daughter, and they have to cut out her brain to make a cure to maybe fight off the zombies. Okay, maybe, we don't know. Brings them in. Joe Miller, realizing that they have to kill Ellie, isn't about to let that slide again, comes in, kills everybody in that hospital, and then, like, that's objectively a bad thing that was done. Okay, bad thing. Okay, gets Ellie back. They have a father-daughter relationship until Ellie finds out, oh, what did he do? He killed off everybody that was trying to make a cure. Killed off the dad of Abigail. Abigail comes in, yoked to the gills, okay, and does my boy Joel dirty, okay? That is the epitome of Joel's character, okay? And since we're already in here, I'm gonna rant about Last of Us 2 really quick. I promise you it'll be quick. Abigail's an idiot. Ellie's dumb. Everybody's dumb in that game. You wanna know why? Oh, I just came here to kill Joel. I'm Abby, by the way. To kill Joel because he killed my dad. Oh, yeah. The one witness we're not going to do her in. Yes, the one person that could track us down. Yeah, we're not going to do her in. Okay? Leaves her alive, killing her surrogate father figure. Oh, I wonder if she's going to come back. Like, that's what I did. Oh, my gosh. You should have just done Ellie in. Okay, plot armor, whatever. Okay, I get it. Ellie, angry that her father figure died, travel all the way up to Seattle to fight Abigail, kills hundreds of people. Oh, that's another thing. The whole revenge is a cycle, it's not good story doesn't work if I stack up 250 men, women, and children to get to somebody, because now every single one of their relatives are justified to come at me for revenge. Yes, that is dumb. It just is. And then Abigail does, and this is going to be a really weird sentence, but anybody who's played the game is going to understand. Abigail does in Ellie's woman's baby daddy, dead, okay? Does a whole Glenn all over again. And then Abigail beats the tar out of a pregnant lady, almost causes a clinic situation, and then Ellie has a little stabberoonie, and then gets her ass beat, 1-2 uppercut, overhand right, laid down flat on the canvas, and then Abigail's like, I never want to see you again. I'm not gonna kill you, because I'm better. She tracked you down. You don't think she's gonna do it again? Are you dumb? Are you dumb? What? No, you do both of them in right there. Why? Because they killed all of your friends and 250 other people. I'm sorry, you're not virtuous for saving people. No, you're dumb. How many people did she kill? Oh! And then Ellie leaves her dream life to go get revenge on Abby, and then oh my, it's so dumb. It's actually so stupid, dude. But she has a little friend. Look it, she has her own version of Ellie. I'm doing her in too. At that point, I've sacrificed every part of my life that's worth living for. Both of you done. Both of you are done. That simple. Oh my gosh, where was I gonna do? I'm putting Joel in A+. A+. He boxed a clicker. Think about how crazy that is. Boxed a clicker. Yeah, I needed to rant about that really quick. I've been sitting on that trauma for a while. The Arbiter from Halo. Let me tell you, all-time peaks in my childhood is playing as the Arbiter in Halo 2 on my ran-down PC. Oh, one of my favorite times ever. Brother, my favorite time in that game is when you're playing as the Arbiter and you're like bringing your squad into battle, and then they start going over like this chant that you would hear from a bunch of 15-year-olds in Bible study. We will fight for the Covenant even till our dying breath. I'm sorry, everybody. I think I just gave you guys PTSD with how cool that chant was. Okay, I love the Arbiter. Coming from a warrior society in the Sangheili, okay? Which were beaten into submission, but put up a good fight against the Covenant when they were initially brought in. To fighting the bloody conflicts for the Covenant against humanity, who they didn't have any beef with. To being singled out, enslaved, and executed for merely following their warrior culture, but the Covenant didn't want to believe that because they had a whole religious doctrine based off hating humanity because the Forerunners decided not to write shit down, by the way, dumb. And then they were phasing out the elites in favor of the brutes, which were more powerful but more dumb. And then the Arbiter works with the Demon Master Chief to fight the Flood and fight the Prophets of Regret of the Covenant, is able to free his people and is now going to war with the Covenant for their subjugation on their planet. I'm gonna put, S. I might even put him in S+. Dude, I love the Arbiter. Arbiter's so good. I love the Arbiter in this game. So good. S. Oh, Halo lore's crazy. Don't worry. We got another Halo character on here that I will talk about, but that's my lore on the Arbiter really quick. Wolf from Sekiro. I said the Hunter's the most badass character in the entirety of FromSoft, but easily a good runner-up is probably the Wolf. This man would be a legitimate boss in any other situation. Literally, he parries everything. Okay, like, people thought for the longest time that Sekiro was the toughest Souls game. No, it's just the most different. Dark Souls 3, parry or get good. This game, parry to survive. It's that simple, dude. You have to know how to parry to play this game. It's a part of the gameplay mechanic. I love Sekiro. Now, the lore of Wolf, I mean, like, he was a warrior that fought in the Civil War in feudal Japan, killed demons, lost his arm, killed Isin the Sword Saint, killed Ancient Dragon, killed the Demon of Hatred. Also had this little kid that he cares for that's like the Emperor. So, yeah, I'm gonna be real, lore's not really going in his favor, but I think he is a good mention. I think you have to put him in S. I think you do, just based off him being a FromSoft character. You kind of, like, bro's definitely been through the most out of a lot of the characters here. Arkham Knight for Batman Arkham Knight. This guy was so cool in my childhood. I will never forget it. One of my first wallpapers from, like, my childhood was legitimately just Arkham Knight. I think this is probably one of the coolest ideas that they've explored in Batman games, but they fumbled it so hard because they just made him Jason Todd. Okay, like, number one, Jason Todd turning in the Red Hood is one of the most unintentionally funny things that happen in comics. You want to know why? Because Jason Todd was so hated as Robin because Dick Grayson was a fan favorite character that when they replaced Dick Grayson with Jason Todd, they were submitting fan art of Jason Todd dying. So they held a vote. Does Jason Todd live or die in the original Death in the Family arc in the comics? And then they overwhelmingly voted in favor of Jason Todd dying. And then they brought him back as the Red Hood. And then that kind of made Jason Todd into a fan favorite character. So I understand why they did that. But here's my problem. Jason Todd isn't in any other game in the Arkham trilogy or quadrilogy. Because if you count Origins. Okay. Where was I? Okay. Jason Todd does not sew up. I thought this was meant to be like the anarchy guy from Origins, because Origins came out after the other Batman Arkham City and Arkham Asylum games. That's where I thought they were going. No. Jason Todd just comes out of nowhere, and that's Arkham Knight. But Arkham Knight, whenever he sews up with that cool-ass voice, is immediately him whenever he enters in. I just think he's a missed opportunity. I'm going to put him in A tier, though. I think A tier is valid. Matt from Wii Sports. This guy, who would have thought that Nintendo was going to make a game about getting fit? And it is the best-selling console in the history of humanity. Yes, the Wii, the original Wii, is one of the most, if not the best-selling consoles ever. Okay? Dude, the royal family has a gold-plated version of a Wii controller that was especially given to them by, I believe it was either Nintendo or it was like the actual Japanese government, which is, again, insane. Okay, but then they create their best game to ever come out on there. It was Wii Sports, okay? I'm fighting the urge to buy a Wii so I could get back to playing Wii Golf and Wii Boxing, okay? But when I tell you that easily one of the most intimidating aura-filled characters in the entirety of that game was Matt, the God of Fitness, okay? It's just Matt, but I call him Matt, the God of Fitness, because this dude was running my fade every single time we came in the Wii Boxing. We've heard of rivalries that went through the ages, okay? I was gonna say the Romeos and the Juliets. That's not how that is at all. But, I mean, like, what's a crazy beef? Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, okay? Beef. Let legacy... Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. Beef, okay? Colby Covington, Masvidal. Beef. Me and Matt, the god of fitness, in Wii Boxing, we were running absolute absurd fades in that ring. And after that, I was over here doing the equivalent of like the fucking gritty on his corpse after KOing him. And then he would destroy me in tennis, where I would absolutely lose it. Okay, Matt is one of the most every time that you open up a game and you see Matt there, you're doing like the Sakuna Maharaga stare down. Are we doing this? Are we doing this? And then Matt's like, the Chad that he is like, nah, bro, I'm gonna beat this little boy. I'm putting, honestly, for the meme, I'm putting him in him. I'm putting him in him. I gotta put him there. This, if I see that I'm facing Matt, I automatically know it's gonna be a tough battle, but I could win. The Gravemind from Halo. I think one of the things that probably gets brought up, like now people are writing a list of things that I bring up in every single video. Every chance I get, I will always give the Halo writers all the support in the world for writing probably the scariest zombie in fiction, and that is the Flood. And the Gravemind is, okay, if anybody thinks that the Flood is not terrifying, I want you to show them the remastered cutscene between the Arbiter, Master Chief, and the Gravemind, okay? Because the Gravemind is aware that one of the few things that could take him out is the activation of the Halo ring. Because that doesn't even kill the Flood, it just starves out the Flood, okay? That's essentially what happens with the Halo ring. It's essentially a giant kamikaze device, okay? Doesn't kill him, just starves him. And the Gravemind is aware that that's one of the few things that could take them out because it would kill everything. So he brings back the two big leaders of, like, the war between the Covenant and humanity. Master Chief and the Arbiter, the two best ones there. And the speech that he gives them, where, what the hell is that, by Master Chief, and he says, I am a monument to your sins, is so terrifying because he is the collective consciousness of all the slain organisms that the Flood has ever killed. Everything from being a dust of the precursors, to the fall of the Forerunners, to the fall of ancient humanity, all the way up to the activation of the first Halo rings, all the way up to now. He is the combined knowledge of everything. That is God. Like, I want you to understand this. You having a conversation with the Gravemind is the equivalent of you having a conversation with the collective consciousness of every organism that's ever existed that has died to them, is you having a coffee time chat with God himself. That's terrifying. S+, bro. That's how scary that is. If the Gravemind shows up, brother, I remember being scared of the Gravemind as a kid because I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, what is this thing? And then now that I'm older, I understand what it is. I'm like, wow, that's actually way more terrifying. Yeah, because the Flood won. Nobody's actually ever been able to beat the Flood for any meaningful amount of time outside of absolutely decimating every organism, living thing in the universe just to buy them some time. That is how terrifying the Flood is. S+. Johnny Silverhand. Let me tell you something, bro. With every passing day, I'm starting to understand where Johnny Silverhand was coming from with nuking Arasaka Tower. Okay, for anybody who doesn't know, if I had to sum up lore in Cyberpunk, think of imagine if Amazon and a bunch of other companies bought up the entirety of America, and then they got rid of it, and then it just became a big corporate state where they had... Imagine if Amazon had beef with McDonald's because they were buying up the real estate, so Amazon could recruit soldiers, mercenaries from BlackRock to fight McDonald's workers. That's essentially what corpo wars are. And for anybody saying, oh, well, that would never happen today, friendly reminder that Chiquita Banana is getting investigated for recruiting Venezuela. I think it was either Venezuelan or Guatemalan death squads to kill union leaders in the 1970s. Yes, Chiquita Banana legitimately overthrew the Guatemalan government, or told America to overthrow the Guatemalan government because they didn't like workers' rights. So, in other words, we are already kind of close to it. Johnny Silverhand just realized it, so he nuked Arasaka Tower to reignite another corpo war, and then he became a functionally immortal by kind of being locked in a chip. So, he's also Keanu Reeves. If I ever do that celebrity tier list, Keanu Reeves is automatically S tier. Name one bad thing about Keanu Reeves. I'll wait, bro. I'm gonna put him S+. Johnny Silverhand, yeah. Yeah, I gotta do it there. Commander Titus. Warhammer lore has recently become my new thing that I'm getting into. People are asking for a video. I will eventually, okay? For anybody wondering, I don't want to spoil too much because I do want to say, like, what the future of this channel is going to look like when we go into the new year or when we get to 100,000 subs. Because, yes, we are moving away from tier list content, but it's going to be better because I have the ability to rant. We are going to get... I will say this right now, and you can save this for later. We are going to get eventually a Warhammer lore for dummies from everything from the start of the rise of humanity and the birth of the God Emperor all the way up to like the Horus Heresy. And that'll be like chapter 1, and that'll just be me ranting to you of how it goes, okay? We're working on it. We're getting an editor for that video. So yeah, that's something that we're going to be working on. Commander Titus is essentially... Johnny Warhammer, like, yeah, that's him. Like, dude, fought 400 years, wait, 400 years, was brought into there as a boy who knew not fear, fought the armies of chaos, the orcs, the Terminids, fought all of them, got put on Death Watch, which Death Watch is essentially, remember Game of Thrones? Like, the Night Watch, where they're there just to serve for a war that will maybe happen, but they die up there anyways. The Death Watch is there as a war that is already happening, as strictly against Xenos or aliens, and they just assume they're gonna die. They basically send the guys they don't really care if they die or not to the Death Watch so they could die. That's essentially what that is. They send Titus there because they think he's an agent of chaos, but no, he is actually immune to chaos, and chaos is like corruption of the mind. So he has like kind of like Primarch or like godly power, and you don't realize that until the end of Space Marines 2 when the God Emperor himself speaks to him, which that is never ever happens. That only has happened with like Gilliman and a few other Primarchs, which the Primarchs are the son of the God Emperor. We're getting in the Warhammer lore. I don't want to get too into it because I will get a few things wrong. Commander Titus, I'm going to put him in S tier above the Arbiter. Actually, I'm going to move Johnny Silverhand down. I'm going to move Commander Titus up to S+, close to him. Sun Wukong from Black Myth Wukong. Now, for the mega OGs of not just the channel, but like my content creation journey, I went semi-viral on TikTok for explaining Journey to the West, and like, not to toot my own horn, I think I altogether got like 15 million views in total, like if we took all those video views together, just explaining Journey to the West. If I had to explain it really simply to you, Sun Wukong is essentially the original Goku / Naruto, where he basically beat all of the gods of Hinduism and Buddhism until the Buddha came in and kind of like basically tricked him. And then he got locked underneath a mountain and then had a Naruto adventure with the new Buddha. That's essentially what happened. He's essentially like a more jokey version of Kratos, but actually more powerful. And in Black Myth Wukong, he's a little bit like underpowered because he's the reincarnation of Black Myth Wukong, of Sun Wukong, until you fight the Cell of Wukong at the end of the game. So yeah, there's a lot that's going on, but it's really, really good. I'm going to put Sun Wukong. If you know the story, you know that he's the John Wick of his universe. I'm going to put him right next to Geralt of Rivia. But he wasn't pulling Yennefer and Triss, so I don't think he had game. So I'm going to put him in S+, though. Joseph Seed. I know this is a weird one to end it on, but I think Joseph Seed, unironically, is the best villain in the Far Cry game series. The only one I would compare him to is Voss. And Voss is an old-time banger that I think I've talked about before on this channel. I've talked about a lot of these guys on the channel. You guys just like hearing me rant about it. I think Joseph Seed is probably one of the most menacing because of the way that he took over. He's a cult leader. I'm going to talk about like actual historic cult leaders on this channel and how scary those people are, because it's a very, you don't know you've been ensnared in that like ideological in that ideological trap until you're already into it. People say, how do people get involved in cults? It's because they have nothing else of value in their life. Look at the people who get involved in cults. These are the people that have been ostracized by society. Look at the Jonestown Massacre. The people who came to Jonestown were the people that were cut off from their family and had nothing else of value. Okay, the guy, The Jonestown guy went for African Americans in particular because he knew that they were getting subjugated in like modern US society. So he went to those people because they didn't really have anything. And people that didn't have anything in other parts of society, he went to them first. Same thing with the Anthill kids. It was people that were losers, lack of a better term, or people that didn't belong to modern society and they took them in without really helping them. That is what's so scary about Joseph Seed because of how likely that this could... Like, I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how easy it would be if you're a cult leader that has an army of, let's just say this, 1,500 people that will die for you? You could easily take a small town or county in Montana very, very quickly. Dude, 1,500 people that are willing to die for you, that's a military that you could take any small town in the U.S. And you take a small town that doesn't really communicate with the other parts of the country. Like, dude, Mormons basically do that already. Okay? Like, maybe not militarily, but like culturally. They'll take in a town that no news ever gets out. Like, if I was gonna do it, I would start a cult that was directed against people with low schooling in Appalachia, make an army of around 1,500 to 10,000 of them, take up and then wage like little small wars with other Appalachian towns until I have a small community. And then if anybody's going to ask what's going on, I'm going to say it's a religion or like Mormonism. And then they're kind of going to leave us be because Mormons are allowed to kind of bend the rules legally too because of religious exemption. So yeah, realistically, you could do this. Like, you could. It wouldn't be that difficult. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just explaining how you could do it. So don't do it. But give me credit if you do. That's essentially Joseph Seed. Lost his daughter. I think it was his daughter or his son in the beginning of the game. Was going to himself until he saw God in a piece of Eden that was may or may not been from the Assassin's Creed universe. Saw the ending of the world, which it did happen. And then started a cult in Montana called Eden's Gate, which is meant to be a reference to Heaven's Gate, which is an actual thing that did happen. But instead of wearing Nikes and a jumpsuit and drinking the Kool-Aid, these guys took over a small town and were preparing for the end of the world by building bunkers. So yeah, that's how scary he is. I'm going to put him in A. He's just a fun one to talk about because I think he is actually pretty realistic in terms of how you could do it. There's only a few things that are unrealistic, and the unrealistic part is he predicted a nuclear war. So yeah, that's Joseph Seed. And there you go. That is a Gaming Aura Volume 2, okay? Maybe I do a Volume 3, maybe I do more. It depends on the support that you give this video. If you can get this up to 1,500 likes, I will do a part 3 or a volume 3. That's completely on you guys. I just wanted to get this video out there for the people that enjoy watching the videos, okay? And it means the most to me, the support that you guys give me. It's a humbling experience all the way through. I'm starting to build up the set, if you guys have noticed. And honestly, I'm blessed to just even be here, okay? Got a lot of stuff planned for 2025 that I'm going to tell you in the coming days, but I don't want to spoil too much, but 2025 is going to be a big year for the channel. I do believe we are going to get to 100,000 subscribers. I don't want to jinx it. It says we're going to get there by March 16th. I think that'd be crazy. I'm trying to get it for the 1-year anniversary, April 6th, but I'm not going to complain if we don't get it. At the end of the day, I'm living the dream because you guys are making it possible. So the least that I can do is entertain you guys. If you have a suggestion for a video, whether it be a tier list, a rant, an iceberg, anything, put in the comment section down below. I do read these. And with all that out of the way, I hope you have a great day and a happy new year. Or not, depending on the time that you're watching this video. But thank you for the support that you give this channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Adios, guys.